Now let me show you some photos before we move on to the next story. And this is the state of Europe's Oder River. Its fish are dying en masse. Chances are someone poisoned them.
Papa, could you mind me?
This is where the Oder River is located on the map. It is some 840 kilometers long. The river runs from the Czech Republic, flows along the border between Germany and Poland, and then flows into the Baltic Sea. This river has been poisoned. Fish of all shapes and sizes have been killed. Their carcasses are floating on the surface of the river. Troops have been called in to help to fish out these dead fish. Poland alone has deployed some 2,000 police officers, 300 firefighters and 200 soldiers. Boats are being used, so are quad bikes, dams and drones. Over 100 tons of dead fish have been recovered so far. And this may just be the start. So what exactly is happening here? No one knows for sure. It is a mystery, one that Poland wants its people to solve. They've announced a reward of $220,000 to anyone who helps find the perpetrators. The hunt is on. Meanwhile, the dead fish were tested in a lab. They had no trace of toxic substances, although they did show elevated levels of salt. What does that mean? Some hypotheses have been drawn up. One, it is possible that there was an increase in water pollutants. It is also possible that the water's salinity had increased. This happens when temperatures rise, the water dries up, and the salt level of the remaining water increases. Possibility number two is industrial waste. Samples from the river show evidence of harmful chemicals. But what Poland is going after is the possibility of arson. Someone or some industry could have poisoned the river, killed all the fish, and triggered an ecological tragedy. Germany has asked its citizens to not bathe in the Oder or fish in it. Both Germany and Poland are now on alert. They say they're working together to clean up the river and dispose the dead fish.
It is clear that we are facing a really bad environmental catastrophe that has at least resulted in a serious amount of dead fish. We do not know yet how long and how extensive the environmental impacts will be in the ecosystem, or in the next weeks, months or years.
Im Ökosystem oder in den nächsten Wochen, Monaten.
In reality, though, there's politics at play. Poland is located upstream and Germany is downstream. Since the river flows from Poland to Germany, chances are whatever happened to it happened in or near Poland. Germany says it was not informed about the fish deaths until the second week of August. The mass deaths were first noticed in a southern town of Poland on the 26th of July, but Germany was alerted only on the 9th of August, and that too by a boat captain. Green activists say Poland did not do enough to mitigate this crisis, to stop this ecological disaster from snowballing. Also, not notifying Germany about possible river contamination is a breach of an international treaty. Germany says it found high concentration of mercury in the Oder River. Now, this is a claim that Poland refutes.
As of today, none of these water tests have confirmed the presence of toxic substances. At the same time, we are conducting tests on fish. We've completed fish tests for mercury and heavy metals. Neither mercury nor heavy metals were found in the collected samples.
Clearly, there's more conflict than cooperation. Back in Poland, the Oder tragedy has led to high-level sackings. The situation has become political and Poland is looking for a villain to shift all the blame to.
We're interested in the prompt identification of the perpetrators, and as such, there is a reward of 1 million zlotys for the person who helps us identify them.
You know what I'm thinking? How such sites are becoming so common. In February, for example, a huge bank of dead fish was spotted near France. Last year, we saw over 1 billion marine animals perish in Canada. Some were baked alive, some charred to death in their natural habitat. Tons of dead fish were also spotted on Spain's shores last year. Over 40 tons of dead fish were also fished out in Lebanon. In some cases, it was climate change. In some, it was polluted water. The villain of the Oder River is still at large, though.